The alarm sounds, not loudly, not violently, just enough to pull the mind back to the surface. The body has been in bed for 8 hours. On paper, that should be enough. And yet, there's a heaviness. Not sharp pain, not dramatic exhaustion, just a quiet fog. Many people describe this moment the same way. They say it feels like waking up from sleep, but not from rest. Across cities in the United States, towns in the UK, communities across Africa, the pattern repeats. Adults in their 20s, 30s, 40s, professionals, parents, students, creatives, sleeping 8 hours, still waking up tired. So what's happening? The modern fatigue pattern. Modern life is cognitively dense. Notifications, deadlines, financial pressure, endless comparison through screens. The brain was not designed for this volume of stimulation. Research suggests that mental fatigue accumulates differently from physical fatigue. It doesn't always feel dramatic. It feels like fog, like reduced clarity, like slightly slower thinking. Cognitive performance declines subtly. Motivation feels inconsistent. And many people quietly assume, maybe I just need more discipline. Maybe I should sleep longer. But what if duration is not the core issue? What if the nervous system never truly powered down? Gentle pause. Sleep quantity versus sleep quality. Scientists have found that sleep is structured in cycles. There is light sleep, there is deep sleep, when the body repairs tissue and strengthens immunity. And there is REM sleep, when emotional processing and memory integration occur. An adult may be in bed for 8 hours, but if stress disrupts those deeper stages, restoration remains incomplete. Studies indicate that chronic stress elevates cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. Cortisol has a healthy function. It helps with alertness. It supports survival responses. But when cortisol remains slightly elevated into the evening, the brain struggles to enter deep restorative phases. The body appears asleep. The nervous system is still alert. Have you ever felt physically still, yet mentally on standby? That subtle vigilance can fragment sleep architecture without fully waking a person. And over time, this reduces sleep quality. Dopamine and the illusion of low energy. Now let's consider dopamine. Dopamine is often simplified as the pleasure chemical. More accurately, it regulates motivation and anticipation. Scientists have found that rapid digital stimulation, short-form videos, scrolling, constant novelty produces frequent dopamine spikes. The brain adapts. When stimulation becomes constant, sensitivity decreases. This is called downregulation. In simple terms, the baseline drops. So when morning arrives, ordinary tasks feel less stimulating. Energy feels lower. Motivation feels flat. It may not be true exhausting. It may be altered dopamine balance. This is subtle, but powerful. The prefrontal cortex under strain. The prefrontal cortex sits just behind the forehead. It governs focus, planning, and impulse control. Under chronic stress, its efficiency declines. Research suggests prolonged cortisol exposure reduces activity in this region. The result? Decision fatigue, reduced clarity, slower executive functioning. Many people interpret this as laziness, but biologically, it reflects cognitive overload. The brain protects itself by conserving energy, and conservation can feel like tiredness. The circadian rhythm misalignment. There is another layer, the circadian rhythm. This is the body's internal clock. It responds primarily to light. Morning light signals alertness. Evening darkness signals melatonin release, the hormone that prepares the body for sleep. Artificial lighting and late-night screens delay this process. Studies indicate that inconsistent sleep timing confuses the circadian system. When this rhythm shifts repeatedly, the brain experiences something similar to jet lag. Scientists have found that even small shifts in sleep timing can alter mood and cognitive performance. Reaction time slows. Emotional regulation becomes less stable. The prefrontal cortex becomes less synchronized with deeper emotional centers of the brain. Fatigue in this context is not weakness. It is often a protective recalibration. When cognitive demand exceeds biological capacity, the brain reduces output. Energy drops. Motivation dips. Focus fragments. And sometimes you interpret that as personal failure. But what if fatigue is information? Gentle pause. Not an enemy, a signal. Research suggests that consistent morning light exposure stabilizes circadian signaling. Even 10 minutes outdoors can influence this system. Reducing artificial light in the evening allows melatonin to rise naturally. Breathing slowly activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's calming branch. Studies indicate this reduces cortisol output over time. The shift is subtle. Fatigue becomes feedback, not a flaw in character, but a conversation between biology and behavior. And when you begin to listen carefully, the nervous system often responds, not instantly, but consistently. The identity shift. At its core, this conversation is not just about sleep. It is about interpretation. When someone wakes up tired despite 8 hours of sleep, the immediate story often becomes self-criticism. But biology tells a different narrative. The nervous system is dynamic, responsive, adaptive. Mental health and physical energy are interconnected. Stress regulation influences sleep quality. Sleep quality influences dopamine balance. Dopamine balance influences motivation and cognitive performance. This is a system, and systems can be optimized. Gentle pause. Perhaps the question is not, why am I failing? Perhaps it is, what is my nervous system trying to communicate? Closing reflection. Fatigue is not always the enemy. Sometimes it is feedback, a request for alignment, for rhythm, for safety. When the biology is understood, the narrative changes. The body is not betraying you, it is protecting you. And with awareness, regulation becomes possible. If this perspective expanded how you understand sleep quality and mental health, consider continuing this journey towards deeper nervous system optimization and cognitive clarity. The work is quiet, but the transformation is real.